with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. It's the wonderful day of being called by a part of ourselves that spoke to me very loudly yesterday, and something that most of us need to tap more deeply into, and that's the divine masculine energy. As we see in the world today, the chaos that is expressing itself because of an energetic imbalance. So good morning. I see I am live. Rachel, good morning. Hopefully I can be heard. As I spoke just briefly, the chaos of this week for me has been profound. It has occurred in so many different forms that I could write a book, a short story perhaps anyway, on how it has expressed itself. And I know as I go through this, each of you also go through this. I see that my computer seems to be hesitating, which is part of this chaos, as I had no internet this morning, and the internet signal seems to be sketchy right now. So bear with me. Hopefully this message will come through. And if not, know that whatever you do hear of this, it comes from within my heart as an offering to you to tap into yourself and deepen your relationship with your divine masculine self. This is not gender bound. Masculine and feminine have been, I like the word, stolen and used and abused in many ways by humanity for thousands of years. And when we take the human factor sometimes out of the equation, other than it's the physical vehicle in which we dwell as highly spiritual beings, we can begin to let go of some of the trappings of the definitions we have given to masculine and feminine and look at the energies. I know most of my audience here is women, and I also know the perpetration against women by people in the masculine physical embodiment over these thousands of years has been heinous. And it's still being brought to light, which is a positive thing as the Divine Mother returns and rises from within our hearts to express herself and rebalance the masculine and feminine energies here on earth. So as this world is played out in Washington, D.C., you have this horrible display of how much we do need to rebalance masculine and feminine energy. We have women who are expressing anger and frustration. We have men who are expressing anger and frustration. And we're having a war of words, which serves no one, irregardless of the position they hold in the world. And I suppose the reason I'm talking about this is basically part of an experience I had yesterday in a barn. As many of you know, I work with earth energies. I transmute them, transpose them. I'm a planetary healer. I came back from death 27 years ago, and I've been working with energies for 27 years, although most of those years I didn't understand nearly any of what I do. And as the energies shift right now, I'm beginning to understand more than I ever thought I could. And yesterday in a barn on which I was working and doing some restoration work, I had already previously doused and closed 2 negative portals of energy. And I won't go into all the details of that, but that's what I experienced, and as negative energy portals where negative energy spirits or beings could freely come and go. And so is my purpose here to anchor peace, light, and love and into all living forms. And those portals are technically a threat to the peace, light, and love of those in the area. While I was working in that barn, the energy just became more and more negative. My dog would not sit still. She was very restless, and I don't take her often, but she's highly sensitive to energy. And things started getting chaotic, and there really wasn't anybody near me to create that chaos. And in an instant, I just stopped everything I did and went into the middle of that barn and called forth a part of myself that I have been fearful of most of my life. And that's my divine masculine energy. And I brought it forth and spoke to those energies and went face to face with them energetically. I brought in my total presence, my total divine presence, and stood face to face with energies that maybe some can see, maybe some can hear. I'm not interested in that. I just know they exist and they need to be dealt with. And in that face-off, what happened was I brought forth my divine masculine energy at a level that I can't say that I have ever called on in this lifetime. And when I was done, my protocol, my speaking with this energy, it calmed down. My dog actually laid down on the ground and had a nap. And so this is a journey for each of us. And the message came through clearly this morning about divine guidance and listening to what's happening around us. And not so much taking sides as to being male or female, but recognizing within us that each of us carry both masculine and feminine energies. And the world situation we are in now is primarily because of a misuse of masculine energy. we call it a patriarchal society. We talk about the Divine Mother rising. I'm here to work for the rising of the Divine Mother energy. That's part of my purpose here, is to support and defend the Mother. And I've done this in many lifetimes, and it may sound strange, but this is who I am. And I feel like I'm just exposing my heart right now to all of you, and it's very vulnerable. But I also know that I can stand now in my divine masculine energy in full force and not have it be anger, not have it be rage, not have it be a perpetration on anybody or an overpowering will over anything. And even with that energy yesterday, I didn't seek to overpower it. I just called it out and said, as you rise, I will rise. And I will not back down. And we did that. And it was the first time that I can honestly say that there was a release in me of perhaps hundreds of lifetimes where I have been a male and abused that masculine energy. So as I say that to you, I want you to tap into your own self and start to think about calling on your divine masculine energy, whether you're in the feminine embodiment or the masculine embodiment, and start to really ask for guidance. Because we're at a point in the history of humanity where if we do not balance the energies, it's not going to matter what we do, who we have as president, or who we have as ruler, or who we have in any shape, manner, or form. We will eventually destroy ourselves. It's not a pleasant note, but it's the divine masculine and feminine energy in us that is our saving grace. So with that prelude, and hello to everybody. I don't know if I can scroll down today and see everybody. I'm going to try. I'm going to be at peace with this. And so thank you for all showing up. And I got a list of masculine energies, or how do we recognize masculine and feminine energies? Because we need to come to this place of understanding them from an energetic level, not so much a physical level. And that was my message this morning, as much as I tried to avoid it, believe me. So we talk about male energy as yang. You have yin and yang. Yin is feminine, masculine is yang, or yang, however you choose to pronounce it. It rules the right side of the body, the physical body. It's the right side. It's the left side of the brain. So you have the left side of the brain and the right side of the body. So it comes across us. And the feminine crosses the other way. And if you think about that, the crossing of the two, there's an energy form in that. And many teachings will teach you, about the Kundalini, about how the energies travel through your spine, you have masculine and feminine. For me personally, when I died in a motorcycle accident, and I hit the left side of my brain is damaged, or what doctors would call damaged. I have a scar across my head. However, my guides told me that my brain would be rewired because I could no longer enter back into this world to do the work that I have been called to do until that damage was repaired. And the only way to repair that is to shut down and rewire everything in my brain so that I would be more of an open channel to receive guidance from my higher self and through my higher self. An amazing process. So I have a very short-term memory. People might call it dementia, they might call it whatever. It's been there for 27 years. I can read a book or read something and 20 minutes later not know what I read. I have to rely on a part of my inner self which guides me, which, you know, is about divine guidance. And the card I pulled this morning was about divine guidance. And this is what I do this show. It's all divine guidance. And each one of you have that power within you to tap into that. And you know you do. But most of us are fearful of it. What do we do that? Because we can recall past lifetimes, or even if it's just this lifetime, past experiences in our life where we have abused either our masculine energy or our feminine energy. None of us are innocent here. This is not, planet Earth is not a place of innocence. It's a place where we get to physically enact all of the possibilities of our existence. So the affirmation is, I am secure in the knowledge of my place in the universe. I allow divine guidance to school me. Note the word universe, not just planet Earth. In the universe. We are members and family of the universe. I want you to just remember that. The affirmations are, I am made from God. God is in me. I know many of you have a problem with the word God. And many of you should have a problem with the word God. Not because of what God means or how we understand God, but because of your own behavior, because of your own actions are so foreign to divine nature. And right now we're being held accountable for all of that. One energy flows through us. One. Just one energy. But it appears to be thousands, millions. And that's what we've done. We've created this separation. And we've inadvertently focused on it too long. And the message right now is we need to come back to unity. And I posted my last week's show on my blog yesterday because it's just been so crazy. And I found a picture that's described about the light and unity. And it was this statement here. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. And that was from Baha'u'llah. I'm not sure I pronounced that right name, but the sort of founder of the Baha'i faith. But that struck me so deeply last night when I found that, before I went to bed. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. And that was my experience yesterday. In that moment of expressing that divine masculine energy and standing up in full power against another, what I would consider male energy, not in defiance, not in trying to conquer, but just you're going to be in your highest presence. We're going to see each other in the truth of who we are as energies. And in that moment, everything became one. It became whole. All the negativity or expression dispersed. And as I said, my dog went to sleep. So for those of you who are in the female embodiment, you are carrying thousands of years of pain. For the men who are expressing or not expressing their masculine energy, you are also suffering that pain. And what we need to come to do is realize that we no longer need to suffer pain. The energies are changing. We're being called to be one, to come together, both divine masculine and divine feminine, and bring it back home into oneness and rise out of this chaos. So masculine energy is explained in these terms here: doing, aggression, analytical, it's concrete, impatient, striving, rushing, assertive, again, left brain, thrusting, organizational, logical, busy, hard, controlling. And I don't know who wrote this, but that was their column for masculine. And the feminine is being, surrender, intuitive, abstract, patient, tranquil, nurturing, receptive, right brain, receiving, synthesizing, creative, calm, soft, and allowing. And each one is an opposite. One is in opposition to the other. But it wasn't in opposition to be defiant. They're in opposition to show that if we just oppose each other, we're just going to come together and we're going to bang into each other. But if we just shift a little bit, we're going to come together in union. And in that moment, we become united. We become sovereign again. We become the blessing on earth that we were meant to be, rather than the cause of the suffering on earth. And so we can change this whole paradigm of our existence just by calling forth the masculine energy to be in balance, to be in its highest resonant glory, and to balance the feminine, not defy the feminine. So for men, I know many of you are like I am. We have been placed in a position where we fear our masculine energy, because the masculine energy we've been taught, and we look around and see around the world, has been brutal. There's no way I can sit here and condone the activities of my brothers who continue this perpetration on all life forms. Whether it's sexually overexpressing on some innocent woman, or polluting the earth. For me, it's all pollution. So I'm asking the men who are listening to this to go deep within themselves and ask themselves to define their masculinity. Don't just act it, own it, show it. And know that this hatred and anger that you carry is no longer needed. We're being asked to lay down our swords, but not in the way we have been taught to be the warriors, but in a way of a loving kindness, because there is no need for them anymore. As the Divine Mother rises, she's calling us to come home. She's calling us to say, the war is over. Let's come back together. And for the women in listening to this, I want you to call forth the divine male from your heart and ask yourselves, can you be in a place of forgiving? And I don't mean it to lay down and forget, but to be in favor of giving the divine masculine another opportunity to be a part of your life, and not in the way it has been expressed over the past thousands of years, because that was wrong. And we need to stop pointing the fingers at each other and come back together in our hearts and say, wow, what can we do? How can we start over? How can we begin again? How can we begin anew in ourselves? Because it's important right now that this balance become the focal point of all of our lives. I honor each and every one of you, whether you're embodied in your physical aspect or your male aspect or your female aspect. I know in my past lives I have been both. And I know that I have abused my divine feminine and my divine masculine energies in those many lifetimes. It isn't just right here, right now. And this is the great revealing. This is the great rising up of the Divine Mother, who is saying, enough, enough, children. I love you all. Let's come back together. Let's come back together in our hearts and express the most powerful aspects, but in harmony and balance. So I ran across, I have a couple of minutes left here. Some energy, for energies, you can use crystals. You each can look up what crystals enhance your masculine energy and what crystals enhance your feminine energies. And wherever you feel that you're lacking or you need more help, get some, focus on those and bring them back into balance. Because yes, it's not just masculine energy, but I'm going to speak from it or about it because that's who I'm expressing physically. And I want to see each of us come back into a state of balance and enjoy each other and co-create a future where once again, all life forms are in balance, not just us. So in closing this, which was impromptu, I didn't know how to express this, and hopefully I've done a good job of opening the door for each of you. And I know it's opened the door for me, so I'm sure I will talk about this more as I'm called to. And I just want to read this as I close for you. It's from the Book of Azrael, which was written years ago by part of the Great White Brotherhood. One day, all worldly desire, all criticisms, all judgments will dissolve in wisdom's strong light, and all life's upwelling springs will be renewed. In this time, many glorious visions will greet your sight. Love will in all her beauty once more repeat her sacred vows, and truth will smile upon you. May that little message reside in your heart and give you faith and strength to move forward and to shed those tears, release those energies that no longer serve you. I know that in your full divine presence, you can stand up to the largest obstacle that you've ever seen in your life and not try to defeat it, but just become equal with it and embrace it and be forgiving it an opportunity to lay down its weapons and its pain and its suffering so that we can all move together into the new earth in a balanced and cohesive manner. With that, I'm complete again. And I'm happy to be here. I hope the message got through. I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Know that in spite of the chaos that you see around you, the most important part is the heart space within you. When all else fails, go to work here. Whenever anything seems to be crumbling down around you, work in here. This is where all the changes are going to come from, not here. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. Blessings of peace, light, and love. Aho. Bye-bye.